Thank you for listening to this PodcastOne production. Now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne.com, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Steve Austin Show is brought to you free today by our friends at BetOnline. The madness starts this week with conference tournaments and championships in the ACC, Big Ten, and Big East, just to name a few. It all culminates with Selection Sunday on 3/15. Be sure to check out BetOnline's $100,000 bracket madness starting on March 15th. Get in the mix to betonline.ag and use the promo code PodcastOne for your 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts and exclusive partner of PodcastOne Sportsnet.
PodcastOne presents the Steve Austin Show Classics.
I'm recording sound. I'm sitting here with Vampiro in Hodgkinson, 316 Gimmick Street. I was about to hit the record button. I said, Ian, what do you want to talk about? He goes, I don't know. I said, I got nothing. And here's the thing. He was over there looking across the room, and he noticed one of my clocks, and it's a real chill kind of clock. I don't know the name of it, but it says on it, it is 7:05 with these gimmick letters. And I collect all these. Kristen, what's this clock from? Oh, my wife doesn't know. Never mind. She wasn't of any help today. Normally, my wife can solve all the problems of the world. Anyway, I'm sitting here in a room full of clocks with Vampiro. I said, brother, what do you want to talk about? I said, I got nothing. And I got something. I told him I got to start. Ian, welcome to the show. Welcome to my house. How are you?
I'm excited to see you in person, man. It's good to be here, brother.
I know we had a great conversation on the telephone, and then all of a sudden get a chance to shake hands out there.
Yeah.
And, come inside and shoot the breeze.
Great beer, by the way. Thank you very much.
We only drank one beer. This is not a drunken podcast.
It should be, though.
It could be, and it should be, but you're driving. We got to be responsible.
No, you got to be responsible.
You're the one driving, not me.
I'm okay. I'm Canadian.
Okay, you heard it here first on the Steve Austin Show. So I told him, I said, I got to start. Okay, and here's my start. A couple of weeks ago, two dudes had a match, and I said, well, one guy carried the other guy in the match. The one guy was an 18-year vet. The guy that got carried been in business about 5 or 6 years. All of a sudden, all the headlines were, Steve Austin said so-and-so carried so-and-so, like it was an insult. Dude, I've been carried 1,000,000 times in my career in professional wrestling matches. Hell, I got carried by Bill Dundee. I got carried by Billy Travis, Gary Young, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. I can sit and name a bunch of people. So it wasn't an insult. You have been carried in a match because you happen to be working with a veteran who had a lot of experience and you were a little bit on the green side in?
100%.
So was that an insult that I spouted off?
I think it's an insult for the younger guys missing the boat and understanding they should look to work with older guys so they get that experience.
But to the wrestling journalists or the people that try to...
Was it an insult? Hell no.
Not an insult. It's just plain facts.
Yeah.
You call a spade a spade. Dude carried the match.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all I said. So it was just grinding my gears, and you've been in the business damn near about the same time or longer than I have been. You're still actively engaged with Lucha Underground on El Rey Network. We're going to talk about the Ultimate Lucha, which is coming up on July 6th through July 20th. As you guys wrap up, was that season 2? Was it season 3?
We just wrapped season 3.
Wrapped season 2.
Look at you, the journalist. I'm just watching you.
No, dude, if I'm going to talk about y'all shit, I got to talk about y'all shit.
Yeah, look at you.
But so you know the fact that someone carries somebody in a match, it is what it is. It ain't no insult.
No, it's not. You need a ring general. It's just the way it goes. Somebody's got to be the leader.
Yeah. So anyway, I just had to get that out there. That was my start.
Well, it's a great start. I mean, and I think that people think they're so smart about our business, and unfortunately, good and bad, or if it's right or wrong, I have no idea, man. You or I don't have a say in this. Things evolve, and people talk too much. The mystique and the romantic part of the whole industry is kind of slowly being exposed, right? Like that guy in Las Vegas who puts the mask on and gives everybody's gimmick away. What the fuck you doing that for? I know that that's not magic, but I want to see the show, man. Don't fucking ruin it for me. A lot of people think that, he carried the match, or your comment like that. Well, let me tell you something, man. The average fan should know there's about 10 or 12 other people who have their fingerprints on that match. It's not just those two dudes up there, so fucking chill out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's just like...
Sorry, I know your wife's here, man.
No, that's cool. We got the sliding doors closed.
I'm sorry.
Soundproof. No, dude, this is the Unleashed show. You're good. Thanks for the respect, though. Ian took his boots off. I said, no, man, you ain't going to take your boots off. He goes, no, brother, it's just your house. It's the thing to do, so respect.
Thank you.
Let's talk about a classic. Let's talk about The Rock. Biggest movie star in the world right now, in my opinion. Okay. Now, in his movies... he's either, he's beating up a lot of cats, he's laying a smack down on people, or doing what he's got to do to, it's like in San Andreas, the earthquake movie.
Okay.
He's saving, the world of the city from all this death and destruction. Now, Ian, do you think that shit really happened? No, it didn't happen, but it's a movie, and we believe that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is saving all these people. Okay, so now you made a great point. The mystique and the what was the other
romanticism?
Word? Of the business has been eroded away by kayfabe being broken. But hey. Yeah, kayfabe was broken, and then, Dr. D. David Schultz slapped John Stossel. I talk about this so many times, people rib me about it. 20, 30 years ago, all the different talk shows talked about, wrestling really isn't real. I thought it was real when I first started watching it but nonetheless, when I watch the business today, when I watch Lucha Underground on El Rey Network, or if I still watch WWE, dude, I'm buying in. I'm just watching it for what it is. The fact that I did it and I know it gives me a critical eye. Okay. So I guess there's two sets of eyes in that I watch the product from. One, when two guys really go out there and nail it, and I'm able to just forget about everything and be a fan. On the other end of it, if I'm watching bad work and a bad storyline, because I am smart to the business, then I start to pick things apart.
Okay.
But the business left to its own devices, with me knowing what I know, if there's a quality match being done by two badass hands who I understand their character, their motivation, and the reason for which they're fighting, dude, I'm in as a fan.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you. Even though I'm ringside and I'm watching as an announcer and I'm seeing all this insane acrobatic stuff, I look at it different. If I have 5 or 10 minutes to myself, and you know how it is when you're busy, you don't want to be around what you're involved in. You want to breathe. But I still find myself this day, I watch Kawada matches or Misawa or Kobashi, that Stan Hansen, that mid-1990s, early 90s, mid-90s, all Japan stuff, because that's what does it for me. I'll watch a match with, I watch it over and over again with Takada and Muda for the big UWF New Japan Invasion angle. I was like, God damn, I'm a fan. Because I know this is what I want to see. Watching this stuff today, I can't. Not a fan.
Of anything?
That comment's probably going to get me in a lot of trouble, but let me say it this way. I don't watch it as a fan anymore. Now I watch it as when we were rehearsing and we were going over this, and I sat at home for 3 weeks trying to think of how to help you tell the story. And I'm sitting there and I see that you listen to me, then I'm into it. If you're just going to go out there and you brush me off and you look at me and you just kind of do flipping and flying, it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me.
But to me, as long as you have some physicality, there's some logic in there. And I go back to...
If there's no logic. Yeah. Brother, if you get a beautiful Barbie doll girl, is that really going to turn your crank for the rest of your life? Or do you want somebody with some grit, some scar tissue, some experience?
Brains.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Experience. Somebody who can kind of move you and compete with you and hold your curiosity and sometimes make you want to be a better person. Wrestling does that to you. You watch it. You go to wrestling because you want to be a wrestler. You want to get rid of your stress. You're a fan. You're freaked out. You like the energy. But if it's just put together like a video game, it's like, what are we doing here? Am I wrong to say that?
No, it's just that, going back to the Stan Hansen, Brody stuff, and you're talking about like 90s, and I go back to, it was like I was talking to Ricochet. Prince Puma was on here a while back, and I was talking to him.
Is that who that is? Ricochet? He's two guys? Are you kidding me? See, come on, dude. I've been doing this forever, and no one tells me anything.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for my first victory.
Yeah, and because we were
Don't
talking.
Even tell me this isn't a shoot now.
Dude, it's a total shoot. It's a work shoot. It's a shoot on a work. So, like I told him, the match that he had with Will Ospreay over in New Japan, I mean, it was cool. It was badass. And I told him I'd never seen anything like it. I hadn't. I won't back off that statement. It was spectacular. The athleticism, timing, precision were just off the charts. But, just like I told him, right to his face, dude, I like it. That mid-'80s NWA, Four Horsemen, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, coming on it, Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, leading into your All Japan stuff because big fans of Gordy, Freebirds, Brody, Hanson, Funks, all that stuff you're talking about. Because, dude, I mean, you're bringing a fight. You're bringing a fight, and I guess for me, because I don't want to say I'm trapped in a 6'1", 270-pound body, but that's the body in which I perform my work, so I wasn't able to do the things that those guys could do. But to me, just in watching two guys slug it out with logic, if you're doing all the high-flying stuff and there's logic behind it, then I can dig it. Just like I could the heavy-hitting stuff. It's sometimes when you start flying too much, maybe you defy too much logic.
Well, okay, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I think my answer is this. And in Lucha Underground, the people in production and the staff, the writers, the producers, or however you want to say it, are so in tune with making sure that there's validity to the violence. We're stressing, and that's the pride and joy of crafting a conversation with these young men and women who are doing these extraordinary physical feats. I, in a million years, for $100 million, would never, ever try a moonsault to the floor. Are you kidding me? But these kids do it with their eyes closed, and they look at you and laugh. I mean, hey, things have evolved in good. Thanks to the people who influenced us, we did this. Now they are doing that because of what we did. So sitting back and being able to contribute and say, look it, man, don't do this, that, and the other thing, and just if somebody super kicks you to the mouth, fucking hell, sell that, get up and hit them back, okay, but sell your job, man. Those little details that we're injecting into Lucha Underground is definitely, if you watch the promos, the vignettes, the storyline, there is logic, but you really got to sit down and watch the whole show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I guess not to sit here and run us into a big circle or beat a dead horse. But to me, it's like, as they say, the business evolves. I was talking to a guy a few weeks ago. He said it just changed. Man, I think this is with respect to the younger generation that are in the ring in the WWE now or in Lucha Underground or anywhere, Ring of Honor, any organization. Man, be as athletic or push it to the limit as much as you want, but just make sure you got to have some razzle-dazzle here and there, or if you got that body that can do all that kind of stuff, great, but just sell it. If you're on the receiving end of it, just sell it. Take that Will Ospreay and that Ricochet match from New Japan, and give or take, that match was about 15 minutes from start to finish by the time they started in the ring. And just say you had that match in its entirety, and let's call it 15, but then you would have added in 5 minutes of pure selling by either guy, or even, dare I say, 7 or 8 or 9, because of the kind of stuff they were doing. And some of it might have been a little bit out of sequence, but that was an athletic event. It was an athletic spectacle. But had the stakes been high, a belt on the line, and I knew more about their characters, and I knew that what they were doing to each other actually inflicted pain, then I would have cared more. I made a comparison of that match to 1982, Dynamite versus Tiger Mask. Lots of similarities, a lot of same precision, but what I loved about Dynamite's work was his intent to inflict pain, his intent to try to harm you. He was working, of course. He laid his shit in, and he was trying to win an athletic contest. And I guess that's my bottom line. An athletic contest where there's logic, and I care about both combatants, whether I love both of them, hate both of them, or love one and hate the other. But those are my basic components that I really want to see to enjoy a match.
Okay, I'm going to throw some crazy stuff at you. If you look at, I'm going to give you 3 examples. Just the fact that Tenru, if anybody can remember Tenru, or Jumbo Tsuruta, were sumo guys. So they had to go through that sumo tradition, and they went through the dojo, and they took that beating, and then they went through the new boy phase, which in Japan, a new boy or your young boy, he would be the guy who carry your bag and set up the ring and bow and all that kind of stuff for you and just be basically your valet. But in it with respect, though, it's a different culture. And then all of a sudden go in there. So you got this guy who's put in 15, 16 years of earning that opportunity to go into a fight. So when he locks up and it is that bam and that snatch and you throw him to the ropes and you come off and that bam and no one moves, that's authenticity. People, God, these guys are bringing mountains. Why am I saying that? Marco Antonio Barrero fought Eric Morales 3 times. The second fight, it was like that match with those 2 kids in Japan with Ricochet and the other young man. They hit each other so hard and so much, and it was a nonstop thing. It was like the Rocky movie. It was like, you guys got to stop. Their wives were screaming. The corners, I was there. I was Marco's bodyguard. They fought, and neither one was going to back. It was that night. We're going to die. We will die in here together. So they hurt themselves. So if you knew their backstory, that type of fight made sense. Their next fight, they didn't hit each other as hard because they already did it. They earned our respect. We know you can go. These young guys in Japan or these house shows are doing all these crazy stuff. They haven't earned it in our eyes yet. So we look at them in a different light. Does any of that, what I just said, make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess. It's interesting in talking about the Marco Antonio Barrero, Eric Morales fight because you said they fought 3 times, right? And the second time, it was just banging.
Yeah.
But on the third time, it was because you're talking about shoot boxing.
Yeah.
But then it was because, dude, they weathered that war, so you already gave them that. You know, and also you're going to game plan different. So there comes the logic that I would apply to the pro wrestling sense of we banged for you the second time. We did whatever we did the first time. We banged the second time. Third time, we got to give you something different.
But did you hear what you just said? They banged the second time. These young men didn't have the first time yet.
Right.
Get to that point where we need to go that extreme.
Okay. But nonetheless, going to, let's say, the Will Ospreay Ricochet match, you didn't get a chance to see it, but you heard about it. So we've seen that. So now it's got to be the number 3 match that you're talking about, where it's like, man, I done took this guy's best shots. He hits like a motherfucker. Now I just going to keep my distance, see what I can get in on him. And so this is that more tactician match. So my point is, where does the business go now? Like with what everybody's doing, you just got to bring more logic to the business. Because right now, the guys in WWE, the guys in Lucha Underground, and I say this with respect, are doing some fantastic moves. Insane. But at the bottom, at the end of the day, if you don't have the logic there, where we saw you do this, like I don't know how those 2 cats go back to New Japan, go back to that same building, and how they work again. Because what will you do different? Because if I had to go back and I was working, if you were Ospreay and I'm Ricochet, dude, now we're going to go technical wrestling. Because we done gave you everything but the kitchen sink. So now, I mean, maybe that's a bad analogy, but no, my point is I'm totally going to fuck you up from a spectator standpoint because now we're going to fucking grapple and claw for everything we get, and it's going to be a different match. Because to do anything more to make my point, you're damn near going to have to kill yourself.
Yes, or you got to go the other route and not see each other again for 3 years.
Yeah, but
right, you know what I'm
I get you. But I'm just talking following up.
Yeah.
Where do you go when you've gone this far? My point is, what do you do now where the business is at? Just to back off a little bit. To me, when I watch WWE, and with respect to all the talent that they have in there right now, and guys that have way more athletic ability than the generation that I came from. But now, more than ever, with all the dynamic move sets, you want to work even harder down at NXT on the character development or the persona or the interview skills. And it's, to me, you should always emphasize the work. I always liked the work of, I mentioned Superstar Bill Dundee earlier. He never worked like a guy that was 5'7", 200. Ricky Morton, one of my all-time favorite tag teams with Robert Gibson, Rock and Roll Express. He worked pro style. My point is, it all goes back to logic and why now as they continue to book, to me, wrestling it's serious. I think you should have some moments of levity or some comedy or humor, not comedy, some humor. But I think, man, if it's all about competition, you're fighting for a belt or you're fighting to get in contention for a belt. In my opinion, wins and losses matter. And so that in your pursuit of that belt, everything is done in a logical manner to try to continue and manipulate, because you're not fooling the public anymore because they know it's a work, going back to your mystique and romanticism, but you're manipulating them through logical storylines. If your storylines and your work inside the ring doesn't have logic, your storylines and your angles don't mean shit. If they don't mean shit, you're going to disengage the audience. Does that make sense, or am I just a fucking idiot?
No, you are not, and it makes all the sense in the world. But how do you do that? You got to sell. You don't fucking sell, you don't become authentic. If the people don't feel your pain, then they won't believe in you. You need to be like, there's an actor in Mexico, Pedro Infante. He died in the 40s. He was like the golden era. He was like Justin Bieber of the golden era of cinema in Latin America. He died in a plane crash. The classic thing about Pedro Infante is he would suffer the whole movie, and then at the end he would slowly get the girl and then sing the song and go off into the sunset. You got to make this. You got to make people cry, and then at the end, if there's no other hope, they come out, and if they don't believe it and they don't get that emotional contact with you, they're not going to believe in your work. Lucha Underground, the first season and a half, it was kind of like, what the fuck are we doing? Because we're taking a boulder, we're going to fling it over our shoulder, and let's see what happens when it hits the water. We've done that. Now we've tweaked it. Season 3, everything is different. The stories make sense. The selling is there. The authenticity. All those little things that needed to be injected, they are there. You've got to see the athleticism of these kids now. Now that they get it to tell the story, oh, my God. Season 3 in Lucha Underground is going to... I don't know what the fuck we're going to do in Season 4. I don't know what to do.
Okay, you talked about selling real quick, and I was talking about logic, and then I want to talk about...
Isn't it the same thing, though? One goes hand in hand for people who don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, selling would definitely be a part of logic, and logic would be a part of selling.
I mean, you gotta, even
things have to make sense.
Yeah,
selling is the.
We all know Bruce Lee's a badass. He's gonna come and fucking kick your ass, but he's got to go through 40 guys. It's even cooler. If he finally gets and he's scarred up and bleeding, fuck, you know what's on. But if he just walked in fresh, it's like it's not as cool.
But selling is the recognition and acknowledgement of pain, and it's the body becoming weak.
Who's that guy that was in WWF? I don't know. I forget his name. I think he was over a little bit. That he got so over because he didn't tap out in a match with Brett. You know?
Oh yeah.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, dude, the old ball guy.
That fucking guy. I think he just sold it probably, and because of that, he's doing all right.
Yeah, you know what? That's an interesting moment you brought up there. Here's the thing, and I'll get back to my point that I was going to make. Ian brought up a real famous match that I was in, WrestleMania 13 against.
Oh, was that you?
Yes, It was me. I wish it was my twin brother, because now if it was my twin brother, I wouldn't feel like shit. But your point was I was selling in that match, and I remember going to the finish room, and Vince dropped that finish on us, and there was only 3 men in that room. It was myself, Bret the Hitman Hart, one I got a lot of respect for, and Vince McMahon I got a lot of respect for. He laid down the finish, and said, okay, we walked out. I went down the circle of the ring, and came back by myself. I said, Vince, you think that finish will really work? And Vince looked at me and goes, oh, goddamn, Steve, I'm telling you it'll work. I said, all right, I'm good. So I went to talk to Brett. We just kind of kicking around a few things. We had a fishbone. I'm holding up my hand in front of Ian. I got my fingers spread wide open, and that's a fishbone. We had this, and this that we knew was going to happen, and rest on the fly. But Brett said, Steve, I really think we was in a no-color zone back in the day.
Yeah.
No juice. He goes, man, I really think you need to have color if you're going to pass out. And, dude, I don't been in the company a year and a half. I just got, real hot pretty quick. It took a long time. I had to get rid of my manager and come up with a Stone Cold name. He goes, man, I'm telling you, you need to have color if you're going to pass out. And I said, all right, man. He goes, he said he'd do the honors if, I was worried about it because I hadn't been tenured yet, man. I didn't have the stand power, and I didn't know if I could weather the heat. So, anyway, we ended up, Brett helped a brother out. And I got that color, but that was the picture of what you're saying as far as selling. I passed out. That was the thing that made me. But the fact of passing out is the act of losing consciousness, and that is the ultimate price of selling. And the blood-painted visual picture, which will ever be ingrained in people's minds, one of the most iconic pictures in probably WWE history, and probably the only time such a high-level double turn has ever been done. I wanted to talk about the two of the other components that I like in a match, and this podcast is all over the place, but we're just shooting the breeze here, and there's no paper or nothing in front of us. We're talking about pro wrestling.
Need more beer.
But one of the things, and I'm going to get one right after this point, is fire. Fire, because I'm sitting across from N. I don't know if you ever met N before. Scary looking dude, bald head, got tattoos everywhere, pretty jacked up. A dude knows some iron, teaches Krav Maga. So, N, if we used to stand up, and we're standing here in my house, and I just start slapping the shit out of you. About every 15 seconds, I just fire off and just knock the shit out of you. There's only so many of those you're going to take after you say, you know what, fuck this motherfucker, and all of a sudden you're just going to go haywire and try to stomp a mud hole in my ass and walk it dry. Because I have angered you to a point where I've insulted you as a man. You're a guest in my house, and now I'm teeing off on you, and you're going to fire back. So when you fire back, I would imagine you're going to fire back with extreme vengeance and trying to inflict as much pain in me as you can, because I've pissed you off. I've fucked you over, and I've disrespected you. Much like a heel getting heat on a baby face. He's been breaking all the rules. He's pulling his hair. He's pulling his fucking tights. He's doing everything he can to keep his baby face down, but that baby face is fighting for everything he can. He's playing within the structures of the rules. Why? Because he's a baby face. But finally, after calling a couple of hope spots, it's time to make that comeback. And when it's time for that comeback, I'll guarantee you, you're not going to hit me 3 times with a running clothesline here in my office. You're going to beat the fuck out of me with your balled up fist, use some Krav Maga, or kick the fuck out of me. My point is, it's going to elicit an emotion out of you, which is it's fight or flight. I doubt very seriously, N, that you're going to run through my sliding doors and run down the fucking block hollering. I would imagine that when you open up on me, you're going to bring everything you got, because it's time to end this bullshit. Am I correct?
Yeah. And
you know the point I'm trying to make.
I do. I'm kind of a bitch, so I'd probably just take and start to cry and say sorry that I offended you. Yeah. So I wouldn't fight back.
Come on, go with work with me on this. I'm trying to make a point about fire.
Well, fire. Look at the NHL. We're setting up for a face-off, and you look at me. That's it. We're going.
Right.
So you punch a guy 3, 4, 5 times. Of course, he's going to fire back. It doesn't take that much, right? You ain't going to stand there too long. Yeah, but you ain't going to kind of fire up. You got to fire up. You got to go.
That's one thing that it is, to me, is a lost art in the business, or a lost emotion. Because you're talking about selling. We're talking about logic. It don't be logic. Let me turn the tables. Fuck, you come over here and you slap the fuck out of me a couple times after I said, hey, Ian, why don't you come over to my crib? We'll do a podcast. I'll tell you right now, you ain't going to get too many of those motherfuckers, because we're going. And goddamn, whether I beat your ass or you beat mine, we're going. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's logic in a match.
Yeah, that's real life.
Dude,
it's a fight.
Yeah. If you want to do something here, you're going to pay for it. Well, if you do something in my ring, I'm the babyface. All of a sudden, I got a gut full of your antics. I got to come back on your ass. And so when I'm talking about engaging the audience,
you haven't got a promo in a while, have you?
Dude, I'm talking about it. I mean, if you want to grab an audience by the guts, like Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, or any of your favorite action stars, whoever the fuck it might be, when it's payback time, it's payback time.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about selling, we're talking about logic, we're talking about doing all these things in a match for it to be believable, to work on the character development, so that I either love this person or I hate that person. Or whatever the case is, I bought into their characters, and fire is so simple, but you see it these days so manufactured, that it's see-through, and it's the same old 3 clothesline bullshit comeback, and I can call the comeback because I've seen it a million times. But the worst part of it? I don't feel it, because there's no anger there. And if a person has fucking held me down by cheating, or if it's just my time to get my shit back in, I'm pissed off and I'm coming for your ass. And you've got to send that message out as a babyface or reverse it, a mean streak as a heel. If you're a fucking dastardly piece of shit, cowardly, whatever, or just a bully, when it comes time to get heat on that babyface, if you ain't stomping his guts in with malice and intent to hurt, you're doing your job wrong. You ain't got to go about doing it in a rapid-fire fashion. You can pace yourself. I'm not saying rush, which is another a mistake that you often see today.
It's the biggest
People
mistake.
are rushing so much shit today because they think, we're not getting anything out of the crowd because we're not doing things fast enough. No, you're doing things too goddamn fast. Slow the fuck down. I take you back to a match that one of the best matches I've seen in a long time was you and fucking Pentagon Jr. Was it season 1?
Season 1.
Dude, the way y'all laid that out, you ain't been in the ring in fucking how long?
About 8 years.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking, all right, how's Vamp going to pull this off? Dude, you sold. You generated offense, then he got back on top, and you had the size advantage, the clear size advantage, but he operated and worked on you in a fashion that was logical and sensible. I bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. I ain't just saying that because you're right here. I talked about it last year on the podcast.
Yeah. You did, and it makes fun. First of all, for the fans, it's been a long time since anybody's seen Steve Austin cut a promo, and I'm right here front row. You're all fired up, veins coming out of your neck, rolling your sleeves up on your biceps. You're fucking ready to go. I'm backing up. Hey, man, I'm your homie, brother. But I think the biggest thing that the kids are making, when I say kids, the younger people are making, boys and girls, men and women, are you're going too fast. You're too quick. You punch a guy 6 times, and before the fans can even say that, digest that violence, you've already kicked and spun kicked, and you did a moonsault, you've kicked out, you don't sell the chair shots, and you're back. Everything you just did, junk food, man. Fucking in and you just wasted all that talent. You didn't tell a fucking story. And I think that's the point.
Telling stories. I'm going to tell you a story right now about 2 dudes. One of them's bald. The other guy, he got the
I'm bald.
number 2 getting it going.
That's number 1. It's a 0, but it's just growing up.
0?
Yeah.
So you got these two thirsty guys that are angry. They're sitting across the table.
Goddamn, brother, I got to calm you down. You can't come over here and kick me and stomp me in the corner.
I'm just trying to make a point,
Give me a
man.
cutter. Jesus Christ.
I was trying to make a goddamn point.
Fuck,
I had to call my wife on my cell phone, get my blood pressure medication in here.
Holy shit. Jack, what's wrong with you?
No, but you know what? But doesn't, I mean, like when you talk about the business, you get excited about it. It's like I get so fired up about the business because that's my love for it. And so I just get ramped up. So I didn't mean to go fucking crazy.
I think it was fucking awesome.
If I had a tachometer, I was probably like at the 7,500 RPMs. I almost redlined a couple times.
No, you redlined like a motherfucker. I was watching you.
Well, since I redlined, we're going to take a pause for the calls. Sponsors coming here and do your thing. I'm taking a break to have a beer with N. Hodgkinson Vampiro here at the Steve Austin Show. Coming right back in a minute.
You're listening to another classic episode of The Steve Austin Show, only on PodcastOne.
Hey, man, do you own or rent your home? Sure you do, and I bet it can be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. I took a serious break here in the action, and I got all calmed down, regained my composure as the great Gordon Sully. That's
How about that? Who could pull a name out like that, huh? Trivia, baby. Come on.
Hey, well, let's talk about your announcer for Lucha Underground. Dude, were you influenced by anybody's style?
Yeah, of course. The Great Muda was probably the guy I tried to copy the most.
No, but from an announcing standpoint.
Oh, from an announcing standpoint? No. I got a friend, Kevin Gill. He does some indie shows and stuff like that, and he's got a podcast, and I've kind of stole things from him, probably. I kind of approached it like this. I thought, I have no experience. I have no clue. The best thing about me is being animated, like you just right now. You're fired up. I think I've made a career of being charismatic. Why study and go into business with somebody who does that for a living? Just go there and be a filler. Looking at your picture of Stevie Ray Vaughan, I remember Jimmy Vaughan telling his brother, how are you going to play lead guitar and sing at the same time? You're not going to do it. I've always based everything I've done in my life around music, and Stevie would say, I will I will play the guitar, but then I will play the guitar. So I look at my relationship at the announce booth as one guitar player. Somebody will play, but when there needs to be a little fill, I will do that little fill. I thought that was the best way to approach it, and it seems to be working.
Dude,
make sense?
You're old enough to know who Stevie Ray Vaughan is. I got a big fan base in the UK and all the way hell across the different countries. And a lot of people here in the States are too young to understand who Stevie Ray Vaughan was.
Okay.
To me, he's the greatest blues guitarist player ever. In my opinion, he's my favorite guitarist of all time, ever. And I know some pretty badass guitar players. Did you ever get a chance to watch what this guy did?
Yeah, of course. And, you know, he used to play at the El Macambo in Toronto.
Exactly. There's a famous recording of that very concert.
Yeah. And I was at a show. I was working for MTV, and there was a big festival going on, and the Stray Cats played, and Stevie Ray played, and I saw that in Minneapolis. I saw him a few other times, too, but yeah, I've seen him. Sure. Good stuff, dude.
Absolutely. The best stuff.
Yeah, but he opened for the Stray Cats. How about that?
Well, that's interesting. That's back when he was paying his dues, back in the dojo days.
Yeah, he was about to break. He was breaking, but the Stray Cats were the Stray Cats.
Right.
But to see Brian Setzer and Stevie Ray together, come on, man. If you're, I mean, maybe it's a little bit. If they're friends of the UK, of course. I mean, the Stray Cats started in the UK, right? They left New York, went to there.
God dang. Yeah, man, none of my fans know who the Stray Cats are. Man, the Stray Cats had a good run, but, I mean, that's because we're two old dudes. I want to go back to Lucha Underground because at the beginning of season 2, y'all shot, and I sent you a text message as soon as I saw this thing. It was open of the season. You were in an insane asylum. What would you call it? An insane asylum?
Yeah, I was in an insane
center?
Asylum. Yeah, that was in the insane asylum.
Yeah, okay. Mental facility.
Yeah.
So anyway, you're at the end of the table, and the dude's talking to you, and, Ian, asking you all these questions. Are you still having these visions?
Yeah.
No, and you're having these flashbacks, and so you lied to him because you are having the visions, and you're not thinking about doing these bad things to people. And there's a flashback like you really attacked the guy. So the dude slides you some pills across the table to take 2 a day, and it's always take 2 a day. But since you're a wrestler, you got to take whatever.
Yeah, 2.
So you got to maintain your sanity.
87 must be better.
My point is, after all this time in the asylum, he lets you out.
Yes.
And then there's Matt Stryker there to pick y'all up in a badass. What was it, a Cadillac or was it a Lincoln?
I think it was a Lincoln.
Yeah, it was a badass black car.
Yeah.
And so I sent you a text message. That vignette was so epic. I thought that you had got your own action adventure series. I said, dude, did you get a series? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, no, the thing on the TV. So I thought you actually had a fucking series going. That's how well that thing was shot. How long did that take? And what did you think when they broke it down to you?
It took about 2 hours. It was pretty quick.
That's very quick.
Yeah, we kind of, because they were like, I just said, fuck, guys. They broke it down to me, and we were going over it, and the gentleman who played the doctor, Anthony Jensen, he guided me. He said, listen, because he's an actor, and he's also an upper echelon in Lucha Underground. He's one of the main bosses.
Oh.
And in all the vignettes, we have office people in cameos. So we did this thing, and he was on the Outsiders way. He's the real deal. So he said, just follow me, and I thought to myself, the director said, think of it as a song, boom, 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 and I was like, I got this motherfucker. So basically, what you're gonna do is tell me I got problems, and I'm gonna tell you I don't, and I'm gonna fucking go off. Are you sure? I said, yes. Okay, so you two motherfuckers are gonna kind of run in here, right? And they were like, they had this guy doing all this, and I was like, no. I said, look. Don't ask me why I know, but I'm going to tell you how this goes. And he came in. I was like, I'm going to fucking bang, boom, bing, boom, boom. And that's it, man. Fuck, do the gimmick and I'm out. And they were like, you sure? And I was like, look, motherfucker, when you come and grab me, whatever I'm doing, don't get freaked out. Because it's going to go down. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, relax. He came in, gang, boom, bam. We did it in like 3 takes. Yeah, it was quick.
So what did they think? Because these guys, were they stunt guys?
Yeah, the one guy, Hollywood.
Right.
God bless them. Love them to death,
yeah.
Right? But guys are trying to make it. They got that. One day they're a tough guy, one day they're male model. Whatever they get called on to do, people are trying to make it in this world. So they came in with all the right intentions, and we're martial artists. And I was, oh, yeah. And I fucking pulled on my Jägermeister, slammed down a couple shots, grabbed a couple Vicodins, and I was like, all right, who's the martial artist? And they were like, what are you doing? Come here, you fucking. I said, so what are you going to do? You're going to grab him by the neck? You know, they're kind of stiff and because they see your wrestler.
What did you tell them you had like a Krav Maga background?
No, I was just, I was being cool, and they were like, we're fans, and, we work out at Gold's Gym, and I was like, okay. And I was like, well, how are you going to grab me? And I said, that's it? That's your big deal? And they were like, what the fuck is going on? I'm freaking him out, fucking with him. So he came in and just, popped him. We knocked the wall down on the first shot, took an elbow. I said, fuck, it's a good thing wrestling's fake, right? Everybody was like, let's just get this fucking guy out of here. And, so it was fun. It was fun, but it was quick.
Okay, that being said, man, you spent some time out there doing your voiceovers and stuff. You ever thought about delving into any acting or anything like that?
I've done some movies, bullshit stuff. I had a paranormal.
Do you find the process enjoyable? And what I just mean, hey, man, making a dime, I mean the process of, because I'm watching you and you're doing these martial arts things, you're cracking your knuckles, yeah.
I'm sorry.
So you're getting into this character because, okay, and boom, 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 you're equating the rock and roll song to it and you're ramping yourself up. So did you enjoy the process? You obviously did for Lucha Underground, but in your other gigs, were you ever get into a character?
See, I've tried to. Hey, man, I mean, did you ever try to separate yourself from Stone Cold? You can't.
No, turn the volume up.
Exactly. You turn the volume up. It's take the earplugs out. Just put your head in the amp. I came from a musical background, so shit. I like it. My biggest acting thrill was when I had a paranormal TV show in Mexico, and I got to do these weird things because there's no limits in Mexico. So voodoo ceremonies and all these crazy-ass things that you can't put on TV up here. We did some deep shit. And I loved that. Acting, yeah, I mean, I really, really like it so much. We did a movie in Mexico. It was really bad. And
don't be so hard on yourself. Well, why was this movie so bad? I've done a bunch of bad movies.
No.
Why was this movie bad?
Steve, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was just fucking bad, man. But it was an experience, right? But
that's the thing.
I love the creative process better. I like producing better. But I think I have some acting in me. I'm going to give it a try.
So what do you like about the producing part then?
Because you're so compassionate like you. Like you just went off and cut that 85-minute promo, and I thought you were going to fucking stun me on the table. And hit
I had to get
clock.
2 episodes out of it.
I had to put the clocks on the floor because I thought you were going to slam me and move your dog over. I thought, oh, fuck, here we go. It never happened in New York. Maybe it's Steve's house. Because you get so compassionate when you get a young man who's got that wide-eyed dream and he's still innocent and he's not corrupted by this business, and you can tweak it and you can give him something and they come back and they say, I learned so much from you. That's everything.
You got any more crazy dreams? I mean, like what's next as far as a goal you'd like to do?
Well, and I've said it to you off the mic. I'm going to say it to your face on the mic. There's a few things in my life and my career that have put me over the top. The Sting match was something that was really famous. Being the first guy of the new generation to work Ric Flair, going to Japan, being with Muda, being a Canadian, going to Mexico, getting over all that. There are certain things that people have carried me and put me on top. Your podcast got me more publicity in that hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it was than I had in 5 years of WCW. You inspire me. You motivate me. Why? Because you left the business intact. You suffered in WCW. A lot of people don't know that you suffered in WCW and you paid your dues and they told you weren't going to make it and they didn't have plans for you. And you know how it is. Van, I'm your fan, dude. I watched all your shit. And to hear the kids talk about your podcast, how passionate you are, and then see a Steve Austin fucking promo right in front of me, drinking your beer in your house. Holy shit. Do I have any wild dreams? Dog, I'm telling you, the work that you do for guys like me and the people who listen to your shit, I told you I want to do a podcast because of you. I don't got no fucking desire to sit there and type and read and study and talk to people and answer. Fuck that, man. I did my time in wrestling. You make me believe again, man.
What would the podcast be about?
Fuck, I don't know. Just going to get a bunch of Steve Austin beer and look at the clock and see what happens.
I can get a beer place to sponsor you. I got that covered.
Call it in the
probably
ring.
About 1 million cats out there fixing to get started podcast. I can call it in the ring.
No, go fuck yourselves, all you guys. Don't steal that shit. Call it in the ring, bro. What's it going to be about?
Call it in the ring with Vampiro.
And
the ring could be anything. The ring could be the world. I mean, if you didn't want to talk about wrestling, you could talk about pop culture. You could talk about
anything,
a movie.
Man.
You could talk about you could talk about your paranormal.
Where are you from?
Born in Austin, grew up in Victoria and Edna, and then moved out to San Antonio, and then out here in L.A.
I was born in Thunder Bay, Ontario. What do you and I have? And what the fuck told me 30, 40 years ago that I would be sitting here with you? It's that brotherhood, man. It's that love. It's that thing that this business has done to us, man. We ain't never going out. We're doing life, man, and we're living life.
Okay, you said you'd like to have another match.
Yeah. I thought I was going to have it about half an hour ago, and you're all pumped up, veins coming out, fists was squeezing that microphone, and suddenly them knuckles turning white. I was like, God damn, I'm going to tap out even before he stands up, but hell yeah.
See, that was like if WrestleMania 33 was tomorrow, that could be the match. But anyway, let me just...
Do I want to do another match?
I'm going to retract that because I'm not selling anything as far as me and a WrestleMania. Not anything. Stacy, leave that in. But I was just making a point. Yeah, I got caught up in the moment. But yeah, I mean, so in a match in Lucha Underground, who would your opponent be?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You just want to do it again?
You know what? I'd like to, just because he's my friend and I respect him so much. I just want to. But I wouldn't do it because I would embarrass him. He's too good, Johnny Mundo. I'd like to be in the ring with him just because he's so fucking good. But I wouldn't do it because I would look bad. He's just on another level. PJ Black, I'd like to work him just because we're old school guys, and it would just be a good vibe, man. I'd love to do a job for a new up and comer. I'd like another program and give somebody the launching board they need to go. I'd do it with anybody, man.
But then again, when you said doing the job, I understand where your heart is. But then if you think about the business, what if you did 2 matches? And that's me being selfish. And so then you go over the first time and then go under or do the favors for on the way out. Because you don't want to go into the program now just saying, hey, paying the price or doing the favors just to get this guy over. Come in there, get something for yourself, and then return it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, if I did that, it would be 2 matches.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I did it the other way.
Yeah.
And I got 4 seasons out of it.
Dude, that deal with Pentagon Jr., that was off the charts. But, dude,
I'm going to do something this year.
I think Mundo, dude, I don't know, I'm too good. He's awesome. But I think you guys have great chemistry together.
Well, here's what I mean. He's so phenomenal right now. He's at his best where he is as a young man. He's at the right age. He's at his peak. I don't want to waste his time. He doesn't need me. I'm too respectful.
Dude, he'd be into a big time match. That's a big time match.
Well, yeah.
Okay, name me a bigger name than you. If you say there's not blowing smoke up your ass, but looking at what you've created, looking at how people perceive you, you stepping back, dude, you know it's going to be a special match, so it has to be a special person. You're a made guy. So when you say that, yeah, he's at the top of his game, well, you were at the top of your game as far as your in-ring stuff, much like me many years ago, but as far as perception and being over, dude, you bust out the wrestling gear, and boom, you're at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, I understand that. I think it would be more interesting to be a partner with somebody and let them get the rub and then turn on you, do an angle, and make it a long-term deal. Give some credibility. Let that kid get his authenticity by being in with older, established maybe guy. I don't know, man. I would rather get a mid-sized car and a bunch of junk food and just drive around to a bunch of indie shows and just show up and say, hey, man, who needs to work tonight? That, to me, would be a cool thing to do right now. To have that one more big match to look at me, shit. I don't need it, dude. I don't really need it. The last weekend, 2 weekends of taping, all the younger guys have come up to me and said, you're like a big brother, and thank you, and I've learned so much. I don't need another match, man. That was my match. You know what I mean? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
I mean, you can give me a stunner right here, right now, and I'd be pretty fucking happy with that. I see you looking at it. I see you tighten up that fist.
If I wasn't 10 weeks, out of rotator cuff surgery and another beer, I might do it. But I'm gonna take my time.
What will happen right now? We took a small fucking iPhone and we went to the pharmacy down there, and we just got into it. Steve Austin Vampiro. Just like you did with Booker, same thing.
Oh God!
People wouldn't even know what to do. If we went to a Latino community right now.
Well, first of all, we rented out that store, so we had carte blanche.
I'm kidding, man. I like the wrestler. One of the boys is coming out on you tonight. You cut a promo, and you're already thinking about doing a high spot.
Oh, dude, I mean, you're talking about the business. It's got to be real. We'd be arrested so damn quick, it'd make your head spin.
Yeah, but hey, man,
all the other calamity going on in the United States of America is just all of a sudden we're trying to shoot an angle, we both get arrested.
Yeah, but out of that angle, I'd probably get a movie, so I'd take the bump.
It's not a bad idea.
Man, don't even think about it.
There's a Walgreens down the road. All right, I'm cutting that idea off.
That's funny, man.
So you're here now. You're at the crib. You back to Thunder Bay tomorrow? What's up?
No, man. I'm here all week. I'm doing my pre-exam for Krav Maga, my black belt. It's a big deal. I'm sure people aren't really fans of martial arts, but to get your black belt in Krav Maga from a school that's sanctioned by the Wingate University, which is the IDF training center in Israel, it is a big deal, especially being a foreigner, right? So, yeah, I'm at that level, and it's been a lifelong journey. It's 25 years in the making, and I'm going for it, yeah. So I'm studying here all week, go back to Thunder Bay, and I got a school full of students, and I'm going to take on there's a new project developing. I'm starting all that. So, yeah, that's it, man, basically.
Dude, what's the deal with the Krav Maga stuff? What's it akin to? I mean, it's basically the Israeli military fighting system. Is that a bad way to describe it? I mean,
no, it's not. You got to remember, Israel, when it was made a state, it's surrounded by, in their terminology, enemies, or they're constantly under attack. So, every single person in Israel needs to do time in the military. Every single person, doesn't matter of your age, your gender, or your physical ability, needs to learn the fighting system. So, if the country needs to go to war, they will, and it's a pretty extreme thing because it's made to do bad things. It's not a martial art. It's really made to do bad things. It's been toned down for the public. I'm certified to teach military. I ran the SWAT unit in Mexico for a while in the city that I was living in. I do a lot of police stuff and the civilian, and now I have a huge kids program. It's just one of those things that came natural to me. I get it. I see it. I'm very good at it. I love it. And I'm pretty much dedicated to that. That's my life goal, is to become a great Krav Maga instructor.
All right, so, dude, you're flying on your airplane. Somebody gets up drunk and disorderly. You just sit there with your seatbelt on and wait for the flight attendants to take care of this person, or because you're in a tube with wings on it and they're putting your safety in peril, would you engage this person?
I give a card to the steward or stewardess, and on the card says, if you need help, the signal is this, and it's either a movement or an eye thing or a word, because I know for a fact, being a wrestler, I got a great job. If I go, it's going, and I don't know if I really want to go to jail for that, so it's got to be for real. And most times it's not. They're just drunken stupidness. But I do let the pilot know and the stewardess know, or the steward, that if it does go down, that this is what's going on.
See, that's cool, though. I dig that. But that takes me back because I'm in my wrestler mindset talking about that comeback. Talking about that comeback with fire. You just said and it's not a comeback, but it's acting in the same. It's fire. And, dude, you ain't going to half-ass it.
Can't.
Because I would imagine in Krav Maga, you've been trained, the physical things that you know, the holds, the techniques, all the technical stuff that I can't even speak of, you know that you never underestimate anybody.
Yeah, Krav Maga is made to do what it is made to do. Krav Maga was made to stop people and make them not move again. So there in Krav Maga, there is no, I'm going to twist your arm a little more. It's you're going down.
Right.
Yeah, so there is you go. Our mindset is it's 150. It's not 10%, 20%. It's go and finish.
All right, let's shut down. I got time for one more beer. I've enjoyed talking to you.
I hope so. We've just been all.
Boy, I guarantee you I damn near was going to beat your ass a while ago or get my ass beat in the process.
No,
we damn near had the match of the century. Dana White, Vince McMahon. Damn phones on the damn board was lighting it up because they could hear this promo through this screen right here.
I'm down. You want to just do the Hulk Hogan, Jeff Jarrett, just step on my chest.
Dude, I was going to Pentagon Junior reverse it and take the L.
Fuck, brother.
I was going to tell you, get to hit me in the head with this Pearl Beer neon clock that I'm always talking about.
By the time both of you and I got our broken old asses up to do that, it would have been time to go to bed.
Hey man, it's good talking to you.
Good talking to you too, brother.
From the creators of Cold Case Files and PD Stories comes the next great true crime podcast, I Survived. Every week, I Survived presents chilling first-person accounts from people who overcame deadly situations, allowing the survivors to describe the events as they unfolded and how they made it out alive. If you love true crime, you're going to love I Survived. Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, PodcastOne.com, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast apps so you can get new episodes every week. Hey, don't forget to rate and review the Steve Austin Show on Apple Podcasts and tell your friends to check us out. If you want to reach me here on the podcast, send an email to questions@steveaustonshow.com. I want to give a shout-out. I want to thank everybody for all the support all across the United States of America for my beer, Broken Skull IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company. We are in 17 states now, and we're looking to expand. Texas, this is specifically for you. We just shipped a big truck full of beer all the way to Texas. It should be there in a day or two. Go to the ElSegundoBrewing.com website, click on Broken Skull IPA, look at the interactive map, and you can find the location that is nearest you. As a matter of fact, you can click on that map anywhere in the United States and find out where this beer can be found out closest to your location. If you're in Cali, we're at Whole Foods, Total Wines, and a lot of other stores. And now we are in Northern California as well as Southern California. Broken Skull IPA, the best IPA in America. And yes, I will be drinking a lot of Broken Skull IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, when I make my return to Monday Night Raw on Austin 316 Day, March the 16th. Looking forward to going out to Pittsburgh, getting a live mic in my hand, cutting a promo, and drinking a bunch of cold-ass beer. And that's the bottom line because I said so. If you're looking to get a badass pocket knife, I got two of them. Cold steel, broken skull knife. Cold steel, working man knife. Working man knife, a little bit on the more cost-effective platform. That broken skull, that is my favorite knife. That is my go-to knife that I carry every single day of my life. Amazon has the best price on both knives. Just go to Amazon.com/shop/Steve Austin. I want to say one more thank you to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show, especially BetOnline, Geico, Scott's, and ZipRecruiter. That's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. Please support them because they support us. If you need more info, check out the show description to this episode for details. Folks, I'm about to gas up my Kawasaki KRX 1000 and head out and ride for about 2 or 3 hours before I have to get back to Los Angeles and start taking care of business. KRX 1000 from Kawasaki, the ultimate side-by-side machine. Hey, stay tuned to my Instagram and Twitter accounts, Steve Austin BSR. I'm about to start making a few changes to my 1974 Camaro Z28. That car's got a 383 stroker motor in it and about to put a complete suspension system in there from Hotchkiss Suspensions, based out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Mooresville, that's where we saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. over there in Mooresville at the Dirty Mo when we went down there for the Straight Up Steve Austin show. So it's going to start making some upgrades on the Camaro. We're going to start with Hotchkiss suspension, probably go with some Black Widow exhaust. different set of headers, and then we're going to look at paint and interior options. And, man, I don't know about making that a 5-speed car. I might just leave that Turbo 400 in it. But I'm going to be documenting all this on my Instagram account, Steve Austin BSR. Folks, until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
Thank you for joining us for another classic episode of The Steve Austin Show. Please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and tell your friends. For more Steve Austin Show, go to PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.